In the beginning of the chapter, what is the principal difference we understood between hire purchase and installment system? What is the main difference between hire purchase system and installment purchase system? You know? Silence everyone! Difference between hire purchase and installment system. David, what is the difference? Yes, in hire purchase system, you get the ownership on the payment of last installment.
Yes.
And in installment purchase system, you get the ownership immediately as soon as you make the down payment. Okay, we have written that also in the notebook. I discussed more differences orally. I said because of this, many differences will arise. And I discussed one of the points that if buyer defaults in the payment of money, any installment, then what can seller do in hire purchase system? He can take back the goods. That is repossession of goods. Because until the last installment, who is the owner? Seller. So if suppose there are 4 annual installments of 30,000, buyer makes the first installment, second installment, he does not pay the third installment. Then what can seller do if he does not pay the third installment? He can go and take back the goods. And that is what we'll study now. Repossession of goods. But in installment purchase system, this is not possible. What can the seller do in installment purchase system if the buyer defaults in the payment? He can file a suit in the court of law. He can only file a suit in the court of law. He can drag the buyer to the court of law, but he cannot take back the goods because buyer has become the owner of the goods. Is everyone clear with it? So this situation will not come in installment purchase system. It will come only in hire purchase system. We'll first understand what entries would be passed at the time of repossession. So you can give the heading serial number, transaction in the books of buyer, in the books of seller. Yes, given the columns everyone?
Yes, sir.
Now understand the point. Very first when repossession takes place, see if seller takes back the goods. That means now buyer does not have to pay any money to the seller, he has taken the goods only. And seller does not have to receive any money from the buyer because he has taken back the goods. And as such, buyer was not going to pay. He did not pay. Yes. Okay, so therefore he has taken back the goods. Very first thing what we have to do is, buyer will close seller's account, seller will close buyer's account. Both will not see each other's face. They don't want to see each other's face. So in buyer's book, he'll cancel seller, and seller he'll cancel buyer's in his book, buyer's account. Did you understand this? Very first thing what we have to do on repossession is close. In buyer's books you'll close seller's account. In seller's book you'll close buyer's account. Right now, first transaction to close opposite parties account. Now in the books of buyer, tell me seller or hire vendor has which balance? Debit balance or credit balance? In the books of buyer, the seller has which balance? Always credit balance. You have to pay the money to the seller. He is your creditor. Okay. So close it, you will reverse and debit. Seller account or hire vendor account debit with whatever balance is remaining in his account. We'll close that. And asset you will give back. So asset goes out. Credit what? Goes out to asset. Is everyone clear with it? Practically it is more simple. Because whatever balance remains in seller's account, close and transfer it to asset account. Okay. And from seller's point of view, goods comes in. Debit what? Comes in. So goods repossessed account debit. Goods repossessed account debit is not sales return. Okay, they are not returned back because they are defective. We have taken back. He has not returned back. So goods comes in, debit what comes in? Goods repossessed account debit. And in the seller's book, buyer has which balance? Debit balance. It's a receivable. Now nothing is receivable, so you close buyer's account. Reverse and credit that. In short, first step when we practically solve it, remember, seller's account will be closed and transferred to asset account, and buyer's account will be closed and transferred to goods repossessed account. Once again, in the books of buyers, seller's account will be closed and transferred to asset account, and in the books of seller, buyer's account will be closed and transferred to goods repossessed account. Now, what seller will do is after taking back the goods, he'll spend some money on that repairs, renovation. Because 2-3 years buyer has used it and he has not paid the money, means condition of asset would be very bad. Therefore, he is not willing to pay the money. So you have to do repairs, renovation, spend money on that. Then only you'll be able to resell the same asset. So second transaction, what will happen is expenses will be incurred on repair of goods. Any confusion in this? No entry in the books of buyer for that. Seller is going to spend that money. Now in the seller's book, whatever expense you incur on repair and renovation of goods, goods value will increase because of that. So you will not debit that expense, you will charge that expense to goods account. So goods repossessed account debit. Okay, that will not be treated as a revenue expense, it is a one-time expense. So it will be debited to the goods account. Goods value will increase because of those expenses. And cash goes out, credit what? Goes out to cash or bank. So with whatever expenses you incur on the goods, goods value will increase, goods account debit to cash or bank account. Then seller will sell the goods, resell the goods. So on resale of goods, again no entry in the books of buyer. In the books of seller, cash comes in, debit what comes in, cash out. Now again the seller will not sell on installment system, right? One time he has already experienced a bad incident, so again he will not sell. Now he will sell on cash only. Whosoever wants to buy this asset, go come and buy it for cash. So cash or bank account, debit. Goods goes out, credit what goes out to goods, repossessed. Any confusions up till here? And the last transaction. Both buyer and seller will record profits and losses. For the buyer, when is it a profit? When the value of asset is less, an amount payable to the seller is, he is in a profit. After depreciation, the value of asset is 1 lakh. He had to pay 1,50,000 to the seller. He did not pay. Take the asset of 1 lakh. Then buyer is in a profit. And vice versa, buyer is in a loss. Value of asset is 150. He had to pay only 1 lakh. He did not pay 1 lakh and he has taken a asset of 1 lakh. Then buyer is at a loss. In short, what you have to do is, whatever balance remains, first what did we do? Close seller and transfer to? Now close asset and transfer to P&L account. Automatically, if assets balance is more and seller's balance is less, loss will be automatically recorded. And if assets balance is less and seller's balance is more, profit will automatically get recorded. So both will record the profits and losses. So on profits or losses, here if there is a profit, asset will have credit balance, so to close it you will reverse and debit and transfer it to profit and loss account. Okay, this will be for profit, and for loss, opposite entry, profit and loss account debit to asset account. But as I said, you don't have to remember the journal entry. First transfer seller's balance to asset account, then transfer assets balance to P&L account. You don't have to bother or worry about is it profit or loss. It will automatically get recorded. And asset account will get closed. And same way here, goods repossessed. If selling price is more than the value of goods repossessed plus expenses, it is profit. If selling price is less than the value of goods repossessed plus expenses, then it is a loss. Here also you just, what you have to do is, goods repossessed you have to close and transfer to profit and loss account. Automatically profits or losses will get recorded. But if there is a profit, like I said here, goods repossessed will have credit balance. So goods repossessed account debit to profit and loss account. And if there is a loss, then goods repossessed will have debit balance. So you close and credit that profit and loss account debit to goods repossessed account. Did you understand this? Any confusions up till here? Whatever expenses you incur on the repair of goods, value of goods will increase. Suppose you have taken back goods of 1 lakh. Condition is very bad. You spend 20,000 on those goods. Means the value of those goods now become 1 lakh. So 20,000 only. 1 lakh is already there in the value of goods. Whatever is the expense, we don't have to debit it to expense account. We have to charge that expense to respective goods. Okay, it is not a revenue expense. Every year, the seller does not have to incur this expense. It is one-time expense only. So it will be added in the value of goods. Is everyone of you clear with this? So now remember it individually. In the books of buyer, 2 steps. Close seller's account, transfer it to asset, close asset account, transfer it to profit and loss. Once again, in the buyer's books, 2 steps. First, close seller, transfer to asset, close, asset transfer to P&L. In the buyer's books, 4 steps. Close buyer, in the seller's books, 4 steps. Close buyer and transfer it to goods repossessed. Debit goods repossessed with expenses. Credit goods repossessed with selling price. And balance amount transfer to P&L. Okay, in seller's books, 4 steps. First, buyer's account close and transfer to goods repossessed. Debit goods with expenses, credit with selling price, and transfer the balance to P&L. Once again, seller's book, 4 steps. First, buyer account close and transfer to goods. Debit with expense, credit with selling price, balance transfer to P&L. Is everyone clear with this? Now regarding the workings, we have seen that 3 types of questions so far we have studied are possible. Where cash price and rate of interest both are given. Then the workings is like cash price minus down payment plus interest minus installment plus interest minus installment. You keep on repeating until it becomes 0. Generally you would have this situation only. So if suppose buyer defaults in 3rd installment, then you will make the workings up till 3rd installment only, not 4 installments. Because 4th installment he is not paying only. So our workings will come only up till 3rd installment. But you will not subtract the installment. Means cash price minus down payment plus interest minus installment plus interest minus installment second plus interest. Now 3rd installment you will not minus because it is not paid. So we will make workings up till interest of default installment. We will make workings up till default of interest of default installment. Is everyone clear with this? And then we will do it. So write down as a note. Yes, write down as a note. Workings and normal entries will be passed until interest of default installment. Until interest of default installment. Look at page 41, question number 7. Clear? Now here you must wish that the buyer defaults early, so that entries are less. If there are 4 installments and see that it defaults in 1st installment only, fantastic. Then only 1 year's entries are to be passed. 4th year it defaults, then becomes more lengthy. Because as such all 4 years entries are to be passed plus this also. So earlier he defaults, it's better. Okay? We should wish for that dates. A Limited acquired a machine. A Limited acquired a machine on 1109 from Yantraman Limited. So A is the buyer, Yantraman is the seller. On hire purchase basis for 10,80,000. What is 10,80,000? Cash price. Payment is to be made 1 lakh as down payment in 4 annual installments of 2,45,000 each. First do 2,45,000 into 4. How much? 9,80,000 plus 1 lakh. Is it coming equal to cash price itself or not? Yes. Does 2,45,000 include interest or not? Yes. No, it does not include. If it includes interest, it would come more than 10,80,000. Total of installments and down payment is coming to 10,80,000, which is the cash price, means installments do not include interest. But when we subtract the installments, we always have to subtract it. When we subtract the installments, we always have to subtract it, including interest. So in this installments, we cannot directly minus 245. In 245, we'll add the amount of interest, then minus. A Limited depreciates machine at 15% per annum on WTV method. Now, due to financial difficulties, A Limited failed to pay the installment due on 31st December 2011. Now, what is the date of purchase of machine? First installment will become due on 31/12/09. Second, 31/12/10. Third, 31/12/11. He has defaulted in 3rd installment. Okay, out of 4 installments, he has defaulted in 3rd. So here past 3 years entries. Yantraman took possession of machine and then spent 15,500 for improvement. That is, there's expenses what we discussed. And then resold it for 6 times. Books of accounts are to be closed on 31st December every year by both the parties. Prepare necessary ledger accounts in the books of hire vendor as well as hire purchase. But first we'll make workings up till 3rd installment. So, is cash price given? How much? 10,80,000. Is rate of interest given? Yes, it is given. 8%. So both the informations are given. Traditional working, first working what we studied will be done. Okay. Head on working notes. First, 1109 cash price 10,80,000. Same date minus down payment 1 lakh, balance 9,80,000. Now in the earlier when we did this type of question, it was half yearly installment, but this is yearly. So when will first installment become due? 31/12/09. First we will add interest. Now here yearly interest only. What is the rate of interest? 8%. So 9,80,000 into 8%, 78,400. So 10,58,400 minus first installment of. Now what is the installment amount? But will not minus 245. We always have to subtract installment inclusive of interest. When we did question 1, that in question 1 that amount of 96,000 was already including interest. But here 245 does not include interest. We verified in the beginning the total is coming to 1080 only. So we have to pay 2,45,000 plus interest of 78,400. Means 3,23,400. 7,35,000 will be the balance on 1,110. Did everyone understand why in installment I have added interest?
Yes.
Because we always have to subtract installment inclusive of interest. When question 1 was done, then installments 96,000 already was inclusive of interest. But in this 245 interest is not included. So we have to add interest then record it. Okay. Second installment now will become due on 31/12/10. Again first we will add interest. Now how will we count interest? 7,35,000 into 8%, 58,800. So 7,93,800 minus second installment. Now again installment amount will be how much? 2,45,000 plus 58,800. Now second installment amount including interest will be 2,45,000 plus 58,800. So that is 2,93,800. 5 lakhs. 3,03,800. 4,90,000. Yes. Yes, we have to do it that way only. You have to pay interest. Means the amount payable is 10,58,400. And actually you are not supposed to pay 245. You are supposed to pay 245 plus this interest. Because the installments which are given to you are exclusive of interest. But whenever you buy on hire purchase, you are supposed to pay the interest. Installments may be given to you inclusive of interest or exclusive. We always have to subtract the installment inclusive of interest. Question 1 when we did, installment amount was already inclusive of interest, which we cross verified by doing the total. In this question, installment amount is exclusive of interest. You have to do it this way. Now next is 31/12/11 third installment plus interest 4,90,000 into 8%. Yes, 39, 5,29,200. Now don't mind this installment. As I said, working and entries will be done up till interest of default installment. He has defaulted on 31/12/11. See adjustment 4. He could not pay the installment due on 31/12/11. So you have to make the workings up till 31/12. Here there is repossession. Okay, so we have to make the workings only up till default and up till interest of default installment. Is everyone clear with it? In the books of A Limited, which necessary ledger accounts will be made? Asset means machine account, then seller means Yantraman Limited account, then interest account and depreciation. Half of pay in the formats. Yes, who all are still making the columns? 1 more minute, do it fast. Very first entry in the first year is to purchase the asset. Machine account debit to Yantraman Limited account 10,80,000. So machinery account on debit side write down 1109 to Yantraman Limited account 10,80,000. Opposite side in Yantraman Limited 1109 by machinery account 10,80,000. Is everyone clear with this? Then after purchase of asset, down payment. Yantraman to cash. How much down payment is made? 1 lakh. So Yantraman account debit means Yantraman on debit side 1109 to cash or bank account 1 lakh. After down payment, interest. For A limited, interest is an expense. So interest account debit to Yantraman 78,400. Interest account debit, so debit side 31,1209 to Yantraman Limited 78,400. Opposite side in Yantraman 31,1209 by interest account 78,400. Okay, lot of practice is done now. You must be confident with the accounting part. After the interest, installment. Yantraman to cash and bank 3,23,400. So Yantraman account debit means debit side 31,1209 to cash or bank account 3,23,400. Able to understand this, everyone? Now year is over, so we'll provide depreciation. Depreciation to machinery. To machinery means machinery on credit side 31,1209 by depreciation account. 15% is the rate of depreciation now. Can you all see that? And WDV method. So 10,80,000 into 15%. 1,62,000. And opposite side in depreciation account 31,1209 to machinery account 1,62,000. Any doubts up till here? Then closing entries. Interest and depreciation both will be closed and transferred to P&L account. So credit side 31,1209 by profit and loss account 78,400. Here also 31,1209 by profit and loss account 1,62,000. Is everyone clear with the first year's entry? Year is over, so we will do the balancing. 10,80,000 minus 1,62,000, 9,18,000, 31,1209. By balance carried down. Opposite side 1,110, to balance brought down. 9,18,000. Here 11,58,400 minus 4,23,400. So 7,35,000. 31,1209, to balance carried down. Opposite side 1,110, by balance brought down. 7,35,000. And interest and depreciation are squared up account. Any doubts up till here? Completed fast. Now second year, we don't have to pass first two entries. We have to directly start from interest because purchase and down payment will not be done every year. So directly in second year again interest 58,800. Interest account debit side 31,1210 to Yantraman Limited account. Now the interest is 58,800. Opposite side in Yantraman 31,1210 by interest account 58,800. Clear with this? Then after interest, installment. Next installment is 3,03,800. Yantraman account debit side 31,1210 to cash or bank account 3,03,800. Understood this? Then again after installment, depreciation. So machinery account credit side 31,1210 by depreciation account. Now we will count 15% of 9,18,000. To 9,18,000 into 15%, 137,700. Opposite side in depreciation account 31,1210 to machinery account 1,37,700. And then last closing entry, interest and depreciation both will be closed and transferred to profit and loss account. So credit side 31,1210 by profit and loss account 58,800. And here also 31,1210 by profit and loss account 137,700. Any doubt in this? Second year is over, so again balancing. 9,18,000 minus 137,700, 7,80,300, 31, 12, 10 by balance carried down, 1, 1, 11, 2 balance brought down. Here credit side 7,93,800 minus 3,03,800, so 4,90,000, 31, 12, 11, sorry 10. 2 balance carried down and 1, 1, 11 by balance brought down. Interest and depreciation are squared up account. Clear up till here everyone? Now third installment, listen everyone. Third year he has defaulted in the third installment. So in third year we will pass all the entries except installment because that he has not been defaulted. So in third year you will pass all the entries except installment. Okay, then those 2 steps. Right now we are doing in the books of buyer. So 2 steps only. Seller's account will be closed and transferred to asset account. Asset account will be closed and transferred to. But first, in the third year, we'll pass all the entries except installment because installment he has not defaulted. Understood that? So let us start again. Third year, very first for interest. Interest account debit side 31/12/11 to Yantraman Limited account 39,200. Opposite side in Yantraman 31/12/11 by interest account 39,200. Okay. After interest, that we will not pass. After interest, installments entry we will not pass because A Limited has not paid the installment on 31/12/11. Directly depreciation and closing entries. All entries except installment. Is everyone clear with this? So 31/12/11 by depreciation account 7,80,300 into 15%. 117045. Opposite side in depreciation 31/12/11 to machinery account 117045. And interest and depreciation both will be closed and transferred to P&L account 31/12/11 by profit and loss account 39,200, and here 31/12/11 by profit and loss account 117045. Don't do the balancing. Okay, except installment we have passed. All entries now. Repossession is taking place. So 2 steps to be done. Seller to be closed and transferred to machinery account. Machinery to be closed and transferred to P&L. All accounts will get closed. Is everyone clear with this? So whatever balance remains in Yantraman, you will close and transfer it to machinery account because repossession has taken place. So write down. 4,90,000 plus 39, 5,29,200. Entire balance of 529,200. 31/12/11 to machinery account. In bracket, balancing figure. Okay, whenever default takes place, at that time, whatever is the balance in seller's account, that will be closed and transferred to asset account. Able to understand this? Yes. Opposite side in machinery account 31/12/11 by Yantraman Limited account 529,200. Any confusion in this? This is the first step. Okay, and see the entry also. What did I make you write? In the books of buyer, first entry. Seller account debit to asset. So seller Yantraman debit side to asset to machinery, and machinery credit side by seller. And then second step, whatever balance remains in machinery, whichever side, transfer to P&L. Like 780 and credit side. Which side looks more? Debit side. So 7,80,300 minus. Now do this balance. 117045, 529,200 minus it. Just 1 minute. Yes, clear in there? So first step is clear now. Machinery, what is 7,80,300 minus 117045 minus 529,200? 1 lakh 0. This will be transferred to profit and loss account by profit and loss account in bracket balancing figure. It's a loss. Why is it a loss? We had to pay 529,200 to the vendor, but assets value was, do it 780,300 minus 117045. Assets value was more, 6,63,255. So assets value was more, which the seller has taken back, but we had to pay him only 5,29,200. So there is a loss of 13404. See, for the loss, what entity did I make you write? P&L, two asset means asset credit side by P&L. Did you understand this? But without bothering is it profit or loss, you just remember two steps. Whenever default takes place in that year, pass all the entries except installment. Then close seller and transfer it to asset account. Close asset and wherever the balance remains, transfer it to profit. Did everyone understand this? These two are spread up accounts. Buyer's books will do in the evening. Sorry, seller's books. It is asked in the books of seller also. So same question, seller's book will do in the evening. Evening 7:15 to 8:15. And I take up the next topic of partial repossession also. Tomorrow morning you don't have stats lecture. So I'll be taking from 9:15 to 10:15 and complete this chapter. Installment purchase system will only remain. Evening will finish with partial repossession.